It seems like Joe Budden is really trying to take a page out of Adam22's book and just add 30 different co-hosts to his platform, and I don't understand why. If you haven't heard, he has announced that he is adding Marc Lamont Hill onto the podcast. Now we can get into um whether the rest of the co-hosts were excited about that or not. It didn't seem like they were, but that's neither here nor there. It's crazy that he feels like he needs to add 7 new co-hosts, 7 mics to replace 2 essentially. He's added Ice and Ish. Okay, that was right after Romeo and Mal left. So I understand that. But since then, he's added Queen's Flip, Melissa Ford, J1, who is Jadakiss's son, Imani, now Marc Lamont Hill. That is 7 people. And then sometimes he has on, a guest host from somewhere else and things like that. And it's just a lot. It's a very tough listen. There's so many voices, there's so many different perspectives. Sometimes the conversation goes nowhere. Sometimes they're just talking about things that the general audience does not care about because it's just so much happening. And if you watch, he is you could tell that he still is trying to kind of capture that feeling where the original pod, where it was literally 3 homeboys just kicking it and we just happened to have mics and cameras in front of us. That was the feel that the original podcast had. Now it just feels highly produced, like everything. The show is produced in itself, but the beef between coworkers, I feel like that's produced. The underlying tension, that's produced. The some of the times the conversations don't seem authentic. Sometimes they just talking about stuff that we have no idea what they're talking about, and they will have full conversations about contract disputes, about stuff that's happening off camera, and it feels like the same thing he gets at Adam22 with No Jumper, with his co-hosts, and how they're always fighting or something crazy is always happening. I think he wants his own version of that, and that's why I'm just like they kind of losing the plot. I'm watching a lot of people who once enjoyed the Joe Budden podcast feel like, yo, like this is not the same anymore. I've been watching that show since about episode 50. I don't even think Maul was a permanent co-host yet. They just fired, I think Marissa, they just fired her, and it was just Rory and Mal. It was just Rory and Joe there. Sometimes Ice will come in, sometimes Maul will come in, and I think people really just kind of took to Maul, and that's when they brought Maul in as a permanent host. So I've been watching since that long, and now it just feels like it's just a lot of stuff around the show that it's just noise. And with 7 mics, 8 mics, it's a lot. It's a tough listen, and that's why I'm not even gonna. I'll admit, in the divorce, I think I took Rory and Mal's side. I still listen to both shows, but I think I took their side in the divorce. But their show is just an easier listen. It's just literally homeboys and homegirls. They got Damaris. They did homeboys and homegirls kicking it. Friends just discussing what's going on. The debates might get lively, but that's what happens when you with your friends. It's not underlying beef here. It's not this person said this, they might mean that. Is there a contract coming up, or are they going to be there next? Are they going to add somebody else to the show to get this person mad? And it's just annoying. I don't understand Joe's business model. It's not for me to understand it. I'm just paying attention. I'm just being observant as to what is going on. It does seem like he wants that network to where he is the one controlling everything, and then people are just pumping out content. So we have so many different voices and opinions, so we can just have an actual conglomerate. Like I said, the East Coast version or the black version of No Jumper. When Adam22 was on the podcast, and it was Ice, Ish, and Joe, when they were kind of debating, Joe was basically, getting at him for his business model, for him to come around and I believe try to mimic it in his own way. I think it's actually hypocritical, and I think it's kind of on par for what we've seen from Joe, in the past. Just me. And the way this and the reason why I say it's taking 7 mics to replace 2, because it seems like now everybody is kind of a pair, right? So you can't. I think if Ish leaves, Ice leaves, and vice versa. I think you can't have Flip without Mel, Mel without Flip. And not because these people are all friends, but they kind of all kind of fill in the gaps or what the other person is lacking. So if you get rid of Mel, because I see a lot of people that can't stand Mel. I personally like Mel on the show. But if you get rid of her, then the conversation just all leads one way, and it's all leading to, some stupid, uninformed ass take from one of them, or somebody agreeing with Joe when he's dead ass wrong or something like that. That's what I think he wants. Eventually, just an entire cast who looks at him and agrees with everything he says. But that's just me. I don't know. Marc Lamont Hill, he might compliment Mel a little bit because he's a little bit more knowledgeable in the political realm. Ish thinks he is. He's not. He has his points, but he's not really all the way there. I think Marc Lamont Hill will do that. But on the opposite totem, Marc Lamont Hill won't be the guy's guy on that show either. Like Ish or Ice would be, or Flip would be either. So that's why I think it kind of like balances out. It's just too much. It's just too many people on that show. That's why the pods be 4.5 hours long now, because everybody has to get their point across. Everybody has to say their spiel. You can go 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, without hearing Ish talk if he's mad about something, or if hearing Ice talk, or hearing Queen's Flip talk if he's not knowledgeable on the topic. It's just so much happening. I think he needs to kind of condense something, make an entire. I don't know. I don't know. It's just too much happening. Maybe some people's contracts are up soon, and he's trying to avoid something to where it's not enough people, but it's just too much. That's just my opinion. If you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, if you listen to Rory and Mal's podcast, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. I am a listener. I'm a fan of both shows. I've been listening for a long time. This is just my observation, right? I'm not a podcaster about a podcaster, but shouts out to those guys as well. But that's just me. All right, so let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe, and peace.